many? 850. Okay, so you've got 850 teachers. Wow. So you guys are in charge of helping to manage those teachers, help them maybe to perform better, keep the quality high. So as Marissa mentioned, we're going to have a look today at how we can coach our teachers, keep their performance going, keep their performance developing and increasing. Now, a little snapshot of what we're going to do today. We're going to have a look at understanding how to apply different coaching techniques for our teachers. All right? We'll have a look at the difference between giving feedback and coaching. Okay, coaching our teachers. And in particular, we'll have a look at something called the GROW model, how we can help our teachers grow within the school to help them perform better. Now, a little task for you at the start of the day. I want you to think about your goals. Later, we will talk about your teacher's goals. But first, this is all about you. Okay, what are your goals? So, what is your goal for 2018? Now, how many? Who is this? Who is this? Is it as a minion? How many minions can you see? 1 million. So if you see this one, this means it's an individual, okay? An individual activity, okay? An individual activity. Later you'll also see maybe more than one. How many? That means like a pair work task. And finally, today we'll also have lots of group tasks, alright? So your first activity, this is firstly an individual task, okay? Individual means how many? One. Okay, if I hear you talking about last night's football or something like that, there'll be big trouble, okay? Please don't talk about England and the football. You will make me very upset. So what is your goal for 2018? My goal for 2018 is to try and buy a small apartment. I want to buy a small apartment, maybe in England, maybe in Phnom Penh. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. That's my goal for 2018. You can use your handbook. I think yesterday Mr. Dell, he gave you a handbook. If you turn, you can find activity 1 in your handbook. What are your goals? Well done, sir. You're already on the right page. That's the one. So if you turn past yesterday's work, and then you can find module 3, activity book, coaching teachers, and then activity 1. Alright, you got that one? Women, yes. Alright. Got it? Alright. There we go. You got it? Well done. Yes? Yeah? Cool. I want to retire in 10 years. I want to retire early, by the seaside, or something like that. Yeah, very nice. Some of you said, I want to pass my IELTS exam band 6, something like that. Very nice. Some of you were talking about buying land, buying property.
Get married one more.
Lots of doctors in the room. Lots of doctors studying PhDs. That's a very worthy a very worthy goal, and good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Wow, okay, 5 children. Have you started already? Oh, good, okay. Good luck. You can do it. Let us know your progress. If you need some coaching, let me know. Good. Now, do you think the goals you have are easy to achieve, difficult to achieve, achievable? What would you say? Achievable? Yeah?
Not have to achieve.
Achievable, but inside that there is some challenge to actually get to those goals, alright? We always talk about I want to do this, or if or when I do this, but we don't do it. We don't follow through sometimes. So our aim today is from how we get from here today in this room into a point in the future to achieve our goals, whether it's personal or by helping our teachers get from maybe here with their classroom management to get here with their classroom management technique, for example, right? So as I mentioned, we often procrastinate. What does procrastinate mean? It's a very long word for 9 o'clock on a Friday morning. It means what? It means kind of delay or maybe put off. We talk a lot about, oh, if I had money, I would buy land in a suburb area of Siem Reap, okay? Or when I have some money, I will buy some land. But actually just go out there, come on, let's do it, and get out there, find the money, and do what we want to do, alright? So this is a classic quote. If and when were planted in the ground, but nothing grew. Always talking, but not maybe doing, right? So we're going to have a look today about how we can help ourselves, help our teachers to grow into a beautiful tree with lots of juicy fruit on the tree. Okay? So as I mentioned, we'll have a think about your goals, but most importantly today, for our teachers. Okay, this is one of our teachers. Do you think your teachers want to grow, improve? Or yeah? I'd say yeah, some do. Some are quite happy just doing their thing and just going about every day. Give me problems. Some want to improve, and that's great. But we're going to have a look today how we can help them, how we can help them grow. Do you think every teacher is the same? No. No. No.
The same title, but different.
Same but different. Yeah. I think that's a very famous T-shirt brand. I think same but different. So often, yeah, we have to treat them as individuals, and each teacher we have to maybe talk to or coach in slightly different ways. Is that the right one? So correct. As I mentioned, we're going to have a look at how we can coach this teacher to help him grow, so that we can build the performance, build the quality, build the name of Southampton School. Yes, Southampton School. Alright. What is the motto of Southampton Vanderpool School. I saw this when I walked into the school. I was so happy. Learning to grow. It's perfect. It's a perfect connection. So we're going to have a look today at growing, okay? And how we can learn to grow, how we can coach our teachers to grow. Now, we need something, a context, from which that we can develop maybe our coaching, growing model. So we're going to have a look through, what's this? A microscope. We're going to have a look through a microscope. So through the lens of a microscope, we're going to have a look at something called feedback, okay? To help us set the context for coaching and learning to grow, all right? As part of your job, do you have to give feedback to teachers? How does it work? You go and watch, observe their class, and after you give them feedback, right? Okay, all right. So we're going to have a look at some different models, maybe of feedback, okay, and how you can give that. Before we do that, a little activity for you. Think of maybe one observation which comes into your mind, an observation and feedback situation that you can remember from your time as a branch manager. Maybe you were the manager giving the feedback, or maybe you, when you were younger, were the teacher, you were the one who was getting the feedback, right? Try and remember that situation. It can be maybe a positive situation, or it might be a negative. Often the negative one will come to your mind, all right? So have a quick think. Can you think of one observation, feedback you've had in your life with the teachers, or you were the teacher? Just try and bring that into your mind. What was the situation? What was the experience? Just take maybe 30 seconds. Try and remember that experience. On your activity book, activity number 2, you can write a couple of notes there about that experience. So who was it? What happened? What was the result? Was it positive? Was it negative? Okay, what was that feedback and observation situation? Being very supportive, which motivated you to listen, take on what he was telling you, and then put that into practice. Okay. Some of you had some more, maybe some negative type situations where you had to maybe deal with an issue or problem with a teacher, and you had to tell them to do something differently or improve in that way as well. But what you'll find is that you will have a lasting memory of a positive, negative experience. So when you are giving feedback to your teachers, you want them to remember you maybe in a positive way as well. So it's our role to keep our teachers on track, okay? Make sure they are improving, developing their skills, without making them feel too maybe negative or demotivated or disengaged, okay? So that is the secret, and that's what we're going to have a look at today. Now, our next activity, we're going to have a look at the difference. Often we have to give feedback, okay? But we also have something called coaching as well, which is a little bit different from giving feedback. We're going to watch a short video, okay, about coaching and feedback. So activity 3 in your handbook, how many questions do you have? 5 is the answer, yes. So with your partner, very quickly, just read those questions first. Familiarize yourself with those questions.
So we make a guard these days. We make a ritual of feedback. And there's an awful lot of conversation, articles, speeches even, on how important feedback is. And we were to live in a feedback-rich culture. Because we have all this technology these days through phones that enables somebody to give you feedback at all times. Finish this meeting, feedback. Finish this interview, feedback, 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 coming from everywhere. Like a torrent of feedback, a hailstorm of feedback. Here's the research though. It's pretty clear. People don't like feedback. Our brains react with stress to feedback. We move into like a fight or flight response with feedback. What we want is attention. All of the social media products out there, from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter to Snapchat, everyone thinks it's about feedback. There's no feedback in those tools. Those are attention tools. Those are positive self-presentation tools. That's what they're for. And we don't want the feedback part of it, we want the attention part of it. And you take that into the world of work, and you got a team leader talking to a team member frequently about work. What should they be talking about? They should be talking about attention focused on how to help that team member get better. That's coaching attention. And the difference between feedback and coaching attention is basically which side of the fence are you on. Feedback, if you're not really careful, turns into like a grenade that you throw over the fence. The person's in pieces, but the manager walks up and I gave them my feedback, did my job, my feedback was given. Okay, team members don't want that. They want you to come around to their side of the fence, look at the world from their vantage point on their side of the fence, and then help them know what could you tweak, what could you course correct, what could you adjust from where you are in order to help you get better. If you're going to do any feedback at all, you better do it in a coaching context. Coaching trumps feedback every time, because coaching is what the person wants. Now, you may want to give the feedback, but what the person wants is the coaching. And so that, as we look out in the world and the messages that we're getting, that's the big distinction that you need to remember. Feedback is only ever useful if it's within a coaching context. Don't tell me where I stand. Help me get better. That's what your people are asking for. So we make a guard these days. We make a ritual of feedback. And there's an awful lot of conversation, articles, speeches even, on how important feedback is. And we were to live in a feedback-rich culture. Because we have all this technology these days through phones that enables somebody to give you feedback at all times. Finish this meeting, feedback. Finish this interview, feedback, 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 coming from everywhere. A torrent of feedback. A hailstorm of feedback. Here's the research though. It's pretty clear. People don't like feedback. Our brains react with stress to feedback. We move into like a fight or flight response with feedback. What we want is attention. All of the social media products out there, from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter to Snapchat, everyone thinks it's about feedback. There's no feedback in those tools. Those are attention tools. Those are positive self-presentation tools. That's what they're for. And we don't want the feedback part of it, we want the attention part of it. Now you take that into the world of work, and you got a team leader talking to a team member frequently about work. What should they be talking about? They should be talking about attention focused on how to help that team member get better. That's coaching attention. And the difference between feedback and coaching attention is basically which side of the fence are you on. Feedback, if you're not really careful, turns into like a grenade that you throw over the fence. The person's in pieces, but the manager walks up and I gave them my feedback, did my job, my feedback was given. Okay, team members don't want that. They want you to come around to their side of the fence, look at the world from their vantage point on their side of the fence, and then help you know what could you tweak, what could you course correct, what could you adjust from where you are in order to help you get better. If you're going to do any feedback at all, you better do it in a coaching context. Coaching trumps feedback every time, because coaching is what the person wants. Now, you may want to give the feedback, but what the person wants is the coaching. And so that, as we look out in the world and the messages that we're getting, that's the big distinction that you need to remember. Feedback is only ever useful if delivered in a coaching context. Don't tell me where I stand. Help me get better. That's what your people are asking for.
All right. With your partner again, just discuss those answers to those 5 questions. You've managed to find all that information. Have a quick discussion with your partner or partners.
Coaching, what is coaching?
Coaching is a diligent guy which is try to start with the point to be. So okay, after identify the problem, we start to guide them, we start to coach them, and here's some material as well as the face-to-face meeting, right? They all like the teacher is now using this one, equip them with materials that are material that has to be approach them. Coaching, telling, observing, telling, teaching, coaching, Are you rap hard? What I have at first? Bây giờ nó ngay vậy. Observing, teaching, coaching, và coaching. Cái gì cơ bản là bài tập kiên trong một lần. Thay cho đẹp coaching sắp trong rồi. Đặt tay vừa làm máy mưa không còn màu trong ôi màu còn màu còn mưa cái này kể là ngoài cái gì đây cái một số khi sáng dương đẹp còn đời cá thì khăn
Number one, how do people respond to feedback? What did he say? In general, yeah, the research shows that people just generally don't like feedback. What should we, as team leaders, so you are all team leaders, what should we focus our attention on in the workplace?
Make things better.
To get the team member to be better.
Coaching attention to help them get better. Yeah, coaching attention to help them get better. what's the difference between feedback and coaching? He described feedback as throwing a grenade is like a little bomb, right? So sometimes when we give feedback, it's like throwing a grenade, boom, okay? It can be a very sort of negative thing, and we can blow up their positive self-esteem and all these kind of things. So, and coaching, what was coaching? So coaching was, it's careful attention, but it's kind of like if, Nari, if you are the teacher and I'm the team leader, and in between us we have like a fence or a wall, he said, alright? So as a